What's up? What's up? I wanted to share this clip with you. This is just a little series I'm doing about what our engagement was outside of the Everett Planned Parenthood, counter protesting the 40 Days for Life crowd. And this was their main presenter right here. I'm not even going to say his name because I don't want anybody to direct traffic to him. But you will see the look on his face is one of, this didn't go quite as we planned. And that is why Travis Pardo from the Family Policy Institute of Washington is not really posting that many videos about this, because it wasn't a win. The only time they had silence was on their Jericho walk that they did around the block like a bunch of nutters. And so he was able to talk to him uninterrupted. They want to present the idea that the general population is for removing rights and bodily autonomy and freedom away from women. And that is just simply not fucking true. And so he didn't get to, use all of his, hardly actually any of his video that day for his little propaganda staging, trying to say that the reality really is the Christian nationalist narrative and worldview. It's not. We don't want this. People were out there. Some were louder than others. Some were more engaging than others. But at the end of the day, these people were not able to take their lies, to take their intimidation, and to take their propaganda and continue to spread it without people pushing back and going, stay away from our clinic. We don't want you here. You are fucking interlopers. You are intruding into people's private lives. You are asking them questions you don't need to be asking them, whether or not they've had abortions, how many pregnancies they've had. These people have no boundaries because they've never been forced to have boundaries, because they've been entitled by our legal system as if they're somehow special people for their belief system. So enjoy this man realizing he might as well just pack it the fuck up and go home, as he stares at little stinky boy Chops Jr. on the left there, who, my God, people literally take a bath. Let me see here. Boop. And so in that moment, and I know it's loud and it's cacophonous out there, and it's that way for a reason, because we want to get them to fucking leave. I had pointed out to her earlier about how much they're not pro-life, and what they're doing is enslavement of women, and how fucking ashamed she should be as a woman of color to be like, yay, enslaving women. I asked her about Adriana Smith. I was like, how could you be a doctor? How could you work with it? How could you be within the medical facility, clinic and facility in a hospital, anywhere as a medical provider, and be like, yep, we're just going to use that dead woman to keep her alive in stasis, even though she's brain dead, and pump her full of drugs and try to gestate an 8-week pregnancy. It's not like she was due in 8 days and this happened. 8 weeks, people. That shit's like the size of a fucking quarter. A quarter. Do you know how many millions of dollars have been spent in heartbreak? And now this poor little infant that is now only 11 pounds after a year and has a trachea tube still, and it still hasn't even left the NICU. Yeah. Would you want that to happen to you? Would you want that to happen to your loved one? Would you then want to be stuck with that bill against your will? Like, the family didn't even consent to any of this. So the fact that she didn't know about Adriana Smith is not surprising to me. Yeah. And so after that, I saw her looking at her phone, and I said, did you find it? And she goes, yeah. She goes, but I'm from Georgia. She goes, and they got it all wrong. I was like, ma'am, I saw the pictures of that woman's body modeling in bed. Like, she looked like clay. It looked like that poor woman was like melting. And then she was already a mom that had her child next to her. You can't wonder why we're angry. You can't wonder why some of us have gotten to the point, me for a while especially, knowing that this was coming over a decade ago, that this day would come for us, and it's fucking here, and we're still not responding appropriately. We're still not responding appropriately. I'm sorry. Our actions, shouting them down, I don't need to have dialogue with someone who wants to come take the most personal and private thing that I have, which is my autonomy, which allows me to make decisions about my life that are made to make my life better. Abortions make women's lives better. That shit sells itself. That's why the majority of voters, well over 50%, agree that abortion care should be legal and it should be unhindered. It shouldn't be something where somebody's personal opinion overrides a doctor's opinion. And for those people that think, oh, well, you just want abortion after birth, that's murder. You want abortion up until the 9th month. I don't have to want that, but I know that it happens for people that are left in situations that none of us would want to be in. But the anti-choice movement uses other people's pain and suffering to forward their propaganda. And all it does actually, though, is continue to breed hate and misogynistic and patriarchal viewpoints towards women. Because think about what you're saying if you've ever said that phrase. Well, you just agree with abortion right up until birth. Number one, it's not abortion at that point. It's literally giving birth. Number two, ask yourself how many people you know decided at the last minute, like, fuck this fetus. I'm going to have a martini and I don't want it anymore, even though I'm doing like a week or whatever. Let's just get this thing out. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. It's unrealistic. It doesn't happen. By then you have a name, you have a nursery, you've had a baby shower, you've told everybody about it. Everybody obviously can see that you're pregnant. So nobody does that. If you use that phrase or you find yourself as a pro-choice person, I'm a pro-abortion person because it's a medical procedure. But if you find yourself as a pro-choice person thinking that people really do that because the rhetoric has been spewed at us so long, that propaganda and those narratives that aren't true, check yourself and go, wait a minute. Do people actually do that? No, they don't. No, they don't. For so many reasons other than it's just unrealistic. And I can tell you there's not one anti-abortion person out there that knows somebody that they know personally that decided to just make that decision. Because A, it's really fucking expensive. B, you just can't go anywhere and have it done. Like you would have to find a doctor that would agree to do that. And I would care, most of them probably would not, would be my guess, because there would be no point. It's like, you're going to be delivering a baby one way or the other, dead or alive at that point. So like, it doesn't make sense. It's not like all of a sudden there would be, just because you made that choice and you're not delivering a live baby, that baby would just like shrink up to something that big and fall out of your fucking uterus. No, my friend, you would be choosing to end your pregnancy and still go through all of the same bodily trauma to get it out. Do you understand now how that argument just literally has no fucking merit? Nobody would do that. Nobody would do that. And again, very expensive, kind of hard to find. Anyhow, that's my little side topic about that. As you can see, not all of our protesting was necessarily had to do with swearing. There was just a lot of saying the same thing over and over again. There was tons of fucking cowbell. There was tons of people getting their point across, especially those on the pro-freedom side of, we don't fucking want you here. And by the look on that man's face, he knew he wasn't wanted there and his narrative was not going to get out that day. So you might as well just go home. Pack it in back to the hotel that the church is paying you, the Catholic Church, to stay in. Your fee of upwards of $6,000 for your visit. I mean, that's what your website said. So anyhow, this is in Washington State, people. This shit happens in Washington State. It is not a safe place for honestly anybody until we get the cult of religion out of our fucking everything. Keep it where it belongs, private, behind closed doors, in a church, whatever, but not in my government, not in my body, not in my schools, not in my hospitals. Private. Again, private. Take care, y'all.